guys, this is going to be a quick tutorial on how to set up or migrate your Ubiquiti Unifi controller to a Docker container on the new FreeNAS Corral. So the first thing we're going to want to do is to go down here to Docker, click on Docker hosts, and if you tried to create a container already, FreeNAS will go ahead and create a Docker host for you. But if you manually create your own container, you'll be able to choose what storage you want to use. And I'm going to go ahead and name this Docker host 1. And you'll see a progress bar where it's building the Docker host. That shouldn't take very long to come up. While that's coming up, we're going to click on Containers. Hit the plus sign, click on FreeNAS, and we're going to scroll all the way down to the bottom, almost the very bottom, and click on Unifi. We're going to name the container Unifi 1 and choose our Docker host. We want to make sure exposed ports is checked. So these two boxes here, where it says container path, user, lib, unifi data, and the one below it, logs, are where you want the Unifi controller to save its data persistently on your host. And so what I've gone and done already is gone to console. If we get on this console, takes a second to come up, and we click and we write shell. That will bring us to just a normal Unix shell. So your storage should be stored in mount. So my storage is mount hard drives. So what I'm already gone and done is make directory mount hard drives Unifi data and logs folders. You can go ahead and put those anywhere you want on your preferred storage. So what we're going to want to do is click Browse on these, and hard drives in my case, and find those folders we created. Make sure the first one is your data folder, and the second one should be your logs folder. And I'm going to go ahead and set my time zone. I don't know if you really need to do that, but I'm going to go ahead and do it. And click Save. And FreeNAS is busy creating our container now. That's going to take a good 30 seconds to a minute. It depends on how fast your storage is. Okay, so once that's complete, what we're going to do is come up here and click on Web UI. That should open our Unifi controller in a new tab. And what I'm actually going to do is restore from a previous backup. And so that should take a second here. I had to refresh the page a few times there. And so I'm going to go to Devices and APs. And it's going to fail adopting my devices because when these ports get forwarded from Docker, here, let me show you. I'm going to log into one of my Unifi access points. If you do a help on there, info, you'll see that it's trying to reach 172.17.0.2 for your Unifi controller, which is not correct. That is its Docker internal IP address before natting. So what we're going to need to do is go on the Unifi controller, go down to Settings, click on Controller, and we're going to click Override Inform Host with controller/hostname IP. And we're going to set our IP to the IP address of our FreeNAS. Mine is 0.30, as you can see here. And we're going to go down and click Apply Changes. And then when we go back to access points, hit refresh here. They should pick that up soon here. And now they're connected. So I was starting with an already running config here. If you are setting or adopting access points for the first time on your Unifi controller, and you also have an EdgeMax router, and you have your DHCP server set up so that your Unifi controller IP address is set in there, it may start to adopt them and then grab that internal Docker address and then fail. So you need to have, if you have that set, you need to have both of those set. Have your IP address of your controller set there, and the IP address of the controller on the FreeNAS set within Unifi as well under controller. So one of the best things about this setup and Docker in general is that since you're saving your configs on your host and not in the container itself, say a new version of Unifi comes out, you can always have the latest one, because if we say come in here and delete our Unifi container, just go ahead and delete that. Doesn't take very long at all. Come back and we repeat the setup of our Unifi controller container on the same host, and doesn't necessarily have to be on the same host, but the important part is selecting those data folders. So that is not right. Let me see. So if we select those same folders to be mounted on our controller, click Save so that it begins standing up our new container. When our new container stands up, this might take a few seconds before the web UI is actually functional, but when it does stand up, your devices are already adopted. That concludes this tutorial. Please like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this in the future. Thanks.